Catching the bad guys. Defending the good guys. Saving the endangered. Welcome to Global Environmental Crime Watch. I'm your host, Bill Paul. On this episode, an exclusive interview with the American wildlife worker who narrowly escaped death at the hands of the world's most ruthless elephant poacher. A Mexican environmental activist's cruel fate. And on the lighter side, the British have a serial litterbug. Eco-advertising designed to shock. And finally, the video that's gone viral, giving new hope to this endangered species. But we begin with dispatches from the front lines of Africa's war on wildlife poachers. It's not just animals that are being killed in Africa. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, over 130 wildlife rangers reportedly have died in the line of duty in the last 15 years, including one just months ago who left behind a 6-month-old child. We'll have more to say on the carnage in the Congo in our next segment. In Kenya, 15 members of the Kenya Wildlife Service were killed in 2012. In Chad, 5 elephant guards working near Sakuma National Park were gunned down last September during their morning prayers. In Cameroon, 2 to 3 eco-guards, as they're called, reportedly are killed every year by poachers after the elephants the guards protect. While many African wildlife protectors are giving their all, others allegedly are on the take. In Tanzania, high-ranking police officers reportedly are the masterminds behind a criminal poaching gang. In Zambia, the government is trying to root out what one minister says is widespread corruption in its wildlife authority. Yes, there have been successes. In June 2012, Interpol arrested 200 wildlife smugglers across 17 African countries. Operation Worthy, as it was called, also cracked down on Chinese websites and on stores that sell endangered species parts. But the threat to Africa's wildlife keeps growing as poachers get more organized and more violent. As John Scanlon, Secretary General of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, recently told the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations,
criminal syndicates use violence, they're well armed, they're very savvy in the use of modern technology, and they're very adaptive in avoiding detection. They're exploiting local people in some of the poorest countries on the planet. They are corrupting officials, and they are wounding and they are killing enforcement officers in the field.
How bad goes Africa's war on the wildlife poachers? So bad that the National Geographic magazine recently reported that gorillas in Rwanda have had to take matters into their own hands. The gorillas have learned how to take apart poachers' traps. The okapi is a gentle creature much revered in the Democratic Republic of Congo. With its numbers dwindling, the Okapi Wildlife Reserve provides protection to the largest remaining okapi population in the Congo. At least it did until recently, when this man, Paul Sadala, who goes by the name Morgan, and his armed gang of elephant poachers led an assault on the Okapi Wildlife Reserve, killing 7 people, including 2 wildlife rangers, and slaughtering more than a dozen okapi. Joel Masselink of the Wildlife Conservation Society was there when Morgan attacked. He joins us now from his home in Seattle, Washington for this exclusive Global Environmental Crime Watch interview.
Thank you, Bill. It's a privilege to be here.
Okay, Joel, first of all, what the heck were you doing at the Okapi Wildlife Reserve? What took you there?
Well, I've been working in the Okapi Reserve for the last 3 years with Wildlife Conservation Society, and we work there to support the National Park Management Agency to manage the reserve and also to deal with communities.
So now I know why you were there. Tell me why Morgan was there. And I asked the question from two different perspectives. The first is, Morgan is an elephant poacher. What was he doing slaughtering okapi?
Morgan is a local elephant poacher. He's well known to the park rangers, and he's been arrested on a number of times for elephant poaching, but then has either been released or managed to escape. And he had quite a bone to pick with the park rangers, and park rangers have stepped up their patrols and are really cracking down on elephant poaching as well as illegal mining inside of the reserve. And this is the main reason that Morgan has decided to attack them.
Okay,
directly.
hold on one sec. You said he has a bone to pick with the wildlife rangers. I got that, but walk me through this process. Morgan gets arrested by the rangers. The rangers turn Morgan over to what? The military or the national police? Is that how it works?
Yes.
And
typically it's the military or the court system.
Okay, and when he is quote unquote in the military's custody, lo and behold, he always seems to go free. How does that work? Is he simply greasing somebody's palm? Is he knocking somebody over the head with a 2x4? What's going on there?
Well, it's more greasing the palm for sure. Wildlife crime in the Democratic Republic of Congo is not really considered. If you know much about Congo, you know also that there's a lot of human suffering, but wildlife crime is way down the priority list for prosecutors.
Now you said he had a bone to pick with the Rangers. I'm guessing what you're getting at here is that the Rangers are just a pain in his you-know-what, and he wanted to set them straight on who's the boss of the reserve. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There's been several incidents over the last 3 years since I've been in Okapi Reserve between rangers and poachers, and several on those incidents. There have been killings on both sides.
Okay, so take us back to that night where Morgan did his deed. The facts are straightforward. 7 people died, including 2 forest rangers. Now, as I understand it, he came in the front of the reserve, and you were located at the rear. Tell us what you did to get the heck out of Dodge just in the nick of time.
Well, the attack happened very early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was still asleep, and we woke up to the sound of gunfire. But the target was the station, the administrative buildings for the park guards, and where they also have a park. They have a road patrol there, and a roadblock rather. That was the target of the rebels, and
how many?
The rebels were a number of 35.
Whew. Against a force of rangers numbering?
Well, on a night patrol at the roadblock, they were only 5.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So the rebels quickly overtook the rangers, and then they had the whole village. Fortunately for me personally, I was on kind of one edge of the village, and I managed to escape when it was a bit quieter, and I. Like many of the other villagers, all of the villagers fled into the bush.
Whoa. Okay, I got it. You're in your PJs, you hear gunfire, you get up. What in your mind tells you not to get out of, to stay away from whatever's going on? Did somebody come in and say Morgan's attacking? Or
Threats had been coming to the reserve over probably 3 months prior to the attack. And then we had heard that the goal of Morgan was to eventually attack the headquarters of the reserve. So as soon as heard the gunfire and was awake enough to think, I realized that it wasn't a practice. It was actually warfare. And,
Not a drill. Okay, now
no, not a drill.
okay, you look like a smart guy. Were you under the bed? Were you behind a tree? How were you hiding?
I was in my house for about the first 3 hours of the attack, which probably isn't the smartest thing to do, even though I do look smart.
It also must be a fairly unnerving experience, I would think.
Yeah, it certainly was. I wouldn't ever want to repeat it, and I wouldn't want anybody else to have it.
Before we let you out of the house, what were you, were you literally thinking, this is it? I should have done my bucket list early? I mean, what's going through your mind?
No, I thought that perhaps the park guards would be able to resist. I didn't see the actual fighting. I was just hearing it, and so I was trying to ascertain exactly what was happening. And I thought perhaps that there was it sounded like return of fire, and eventually it was just one-sided firing, and I assumed that was the park rangers repelling the attack of the rebels, and that soon enough I would be able to just walk out of my house, and everybody else in the village would walk out of their houses too, and we would say, what happened there? But what actually happened was the rebels overtook the Rangers rather quickly, and they occupied the village for 2 days.
Okay, so 3 hours pass. You've made up your mind. I've got to get out of this house. What do you do? Where do you go?
I managed to meet up with some colleagues, and we fled out into the bush. And
well, how did you manage to do that much? Did you have some sort of a wireless network that you could tap into?
No, we did it without any technology. We met up. I live in a small compound, and my neighbors came out during a lull in some of the fighting, and so I signaled to
you knew what was happening.
Right.
You knew the battle was not going well. Okay. Now, how long after you left before Morgan and his crowd got to your house?
I don't know. I would say probably within an hour.
Okay. All right, Joe, I got 3 possible fates for you. Think through which one of these might have been. You're an American. You show them the passport. A, they say, he's more trouble than he's worth, and they let you go. B, they say, he's very valuable. We'll ransom him back. C, they just kill you. Which one do you think was your fate?
It's tough to say. I would say probably either option B or C.
Okay.
So yeah, it wouldn't look very good for me if they had found me.
All right, Joel Maslick, we are very happy that you were able to speak with us in person and in good voice. I hope you appreciate just how close you came, and we wish you the best of luck, and frankly, I admire your bravery. If you're considering going back, that is a brave deed indeed. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Bill.
Take care. You can follow this and other stories on the Global Environmental Crime Watch website. You can also like us on Facebook, and don't forget to sign up for GECW's Twitter feed. While there's nothing funny about environmental crime, it does have its lighter side. Case in point, the British have a serial litterbug. At least they did have one. Nobody in the quaint English village of Barnoldswick quite knows what happened to him or if he will be back. All that is known is that in March 2012, somebody neatly cut old newspapers and magazines into 2-inch squares and on more than one occasion dumped them all over Calf Hall Lane, angering residents and attracting the attention of the local senior environmental crime officer. A local official summed things up this way.
This is a peculiar offense, more akin to a TV mystery.
Fishing boats all over the world routinely catch more of certain kinds of fish than they are allowed to under international laws and treaties. A lot of people don't know or don't care, despite the fact that overfishing could leave the world without enough food to eat. To raise public awareness, then, a British group called Fish Love has come up with a most unusual advertising campaign. The campaign features British celebrities without their clothes, with a variety of sea life strategically placed. The goal of the campaign is to get the public to sign an online petition to present to the European Union.
Will the real Google please stand up? The tech giant recently gave the World Wildlife Fund $5 million to fight wildlife poaching. But according to the Environmental Investigation Agency, a British non-profit, Google's Japanese shopping site runs thousands of advertisements for elephant ivory products.
An update of another story we recently brought you. This is the one about Abdul Taib Mahmood, Chief Minister of the Malaysian province of Sarawak, and a report by the nonprofit Global Witness accusing Taib and his family of having amassed a $15 billion personal fortune through illegal logging. A company said to be controlled by the Taib family just got kicked out of the African country of Liberia for, wait for it, illegal logging. The Liberian government accused the Sarawak kingpin's family of, quote, flagrantly, unquote, violating Liberia's forest reform laws.
Interpol is expanding the war on eco-criminals. On the heels of Operation Worthy in Africa, Interpol's Operation Lead recently seized 200 people and confiscated millions of dollars worth of illegally logged timber in Latin America. Under Operation Scale, Interpol next plans to go after the criminal networks running illegal fishing operations.
Residents of Fukushima Prefecture in Japan filed a criminal complaint against the government's former head of nuclear safety. They want him charged with professional negligence in connection with the power plant's disaster 2 years ago. Recently questioned by police, the official has not yet been charged. Former executives of plant owner Tokyo Electric Power also have been questioned but not yet charged with any crime.
You're looking at footage from a recent Mexican newscast. On the left is Juventia Villamojica, an environmental activist in Mexico known for courageously standing up to the drug gangs cutting down her region's virgin forests. Now on the left is a Mexican police officer. The juxtaposition is telling. According to news reports, Juventina was killed by gunmen while in the presence of 10 police officers assigned to protect her. Afterward, the police all but accused the woman of having killed herself. They issued a statement that said Juventina's murder
resulted from the fact she left the protected area.
Left unanswered, what reason could Juventina possibly have had for wandering straight into danger? Okay, it's time to bring my blood pressure down. Are you ready to play Name That Airport? What are the greatest games of all time? There's Clue, of course, and Monopoly. Well, we at Global Environmental Crime Watch, with tongue firmly in cheek, think we have come up with the next great game. Here are the names of 4 cities that have international airports. And here are 4 rare or endangered species that were found in whole or in part in the possession of an eco-trafficker the cops caught in those airports. Can you match the airport? Drum roll, please. Bear paws were found in luggage in Vancouver. A 3-month-old tiger cub was found in luggage in Bangkok. Tiny hummingbirds were found in a man's underpants in Cayenne, French Guiana. And rhino horns were discovered in luggage in Shannon, Ireland. Finally, we want to close this edition of Global Environmental Crime Watch with an ingenious way to help save an endangered species from poachers and traffickers, namely, make a video that goes viral. Of course, it helps when you're recording that adorable creature known as a sloth. Sad to say, sloths are hunted by many people for food. Making matters worse, the sloth's natural habitat, the rainforest, is being cut down. Thankfully, the sloth has a new champion, Lucy Cook, who made this charming video of baby sloths in Costa Rica. Lucy's video is not the most watched sloth video on YouTube. That honor goes to actress Kristen Bell's comical meltdown on Ellen DeGeneres' TV program upon learning that her boyfriend had gotten her a sloth. This video has been viewed almost 15 million times.
There she is, her name was Melon. I mean, I needed to be sedated, clearly.
But Lucy Cook's video entitled Meet the Sloths is pushing 1 million views, which is amazing for a wildlife video. Want to help save the sloth? On her Vimeo site, Lucy has written,
"If you like sloths, why not join the Sloth Appreciation Society?"
That's it for this edition of Global Environmental Crime Watch. Thanks for watching. To find out about these stories and more, go to our website, globalenvironmentalcrimewatch.tv.